I like to think that I am an avid AEW fan. Seriously, since Dynamite started back in October 2019, I have not missed an episode. And I've even watched a few Darks before it was Dark Elevation. To me, this is great because for a long time, it was pretty much WWE or don't watch wrestling. Oh sure, we had Impact/TNA/Global Force, and we also had Ring of Honor. But TNA had him and her, which guaranteed me not watching. And Ring of Honor, well, it's hard to watch when your local cable provider doesn't carry the channel it airs on, and you didn't have interwebs at the time. Now, since both of those wrongs have been righted, I do now enjoy watching both. But then, after All In and all the hype that came with it, they announced AEW. And not long after that, we got AEW Dynamite. And this was great. Almost immediately, I was introduced to a variety of wrestlers I had never heard of, and started learning even more about wrestlers I had actually heard of. And as a wrestling nerd, you couldn't ask for something better. But after a year and a half, I feel like I'm missing out. There are wrestlers in AEW I want to see more of. I know sometimes these guys are on AEW Dark, but that's not good enough. I want to see them on the main program and actually winning. So, with that in mind, I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube, and this is 10 AEW wrestlers we don't get enough of. Before we get started though, I've got some real quick honorable mentions. These guys are all great and just missed the list, but the point is exactly the same. Joey Janela, Allie the Bunny, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Brian Cage. Number 10, Nyla Rose. She's big, she's scary, and she's already changing the world. Nyla Rose is the first ever transgender wrestler to sign with a major promotion. She's also the very first transgender wrestler to win a major championship. So suck it, haters. When she debuted, she was the unstoppable native beast, the original threat in the AEW women's division. She won the Casino Battle Royale, battled for the women's world title, coming up short on that first episode of Dynamite, but later coming back and decisively winning the championship from Riho. She would defend the title until running into Hikaru Shida, and let's be real, we all wanted Hikaru to win that match. After that, Nyla would align herself with Vicky Guerrero, the ultimate Karen, and it's kinda been radio silence ever since. She did compete in the AEW Women's Championship Eliminator Tournament, defeating Thunder Rosa and then losing to Ryo Mizunami. But that's really it. Nia appears time to time and is on Dark Elevation some, but when remembering the native beast we got initially, we're gonna need more out of her. Number 9, Shawn Spears. He's actually really good. His work is solid. When given a chance on the mic, he can actually be good. He looks like the guy that would give you a hard time for no reason. It really all comes together with Shawn Spears. And to add to that, he has 0 losses currently in 2021, and recently joined MJF and the Pinnacle. The only problem is, he's rarely shown on Dynamite and has only had 3 matches in 2021, as opposed to the 12 matches he'd had by now in 2020. I'm hoping with his addition to the already stacked up Pinnacle, he finally gets the chance to shine that he does actually deserve. Number 8, Brian Pillman Jr. When I first started hearing about Brian Pillman Jr., I got excited. I was a fan of his father's. He has been the OVW Heavyweight Champion, the Super Indie Championship winner, and technically won the Warrior Wrestling Championship. He's also had some great indie matches that are definitely worth checking out. But now, I constantly see him in the crowd on AEW shows. And that may not be the worst thing ever, and he does have a somewhat successful tag team with Griff Garrison as the Varsity Blondes. Nice wink in the nod there, by the way. But that's really it. Now I know he's got to make his way and earn his shots. That's fine and all, but let's consider the fact that he was PWI Rookie of the Year, MLW Rookie of the Year, and the Cauliflower Alley Club's Rising Star Award winner. Seeing him in the crowd and as a security guard is kinda discouraging. I want the Brian Pillman Jr. I started hearing about back in 2018. Number 7, Abaddon. Okay, this is horrible, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You went out one night, had an awesome time, met a nice girl, and went back to her place. Then you wake up the next morning to see this. Don't worry about the door, I'll be running through the wall. This is one of the best gimmicks in all professional wrestling. You mix the pageantry of The Fiend with the intensity of The Undertaker. Add in the invincibility of Brock Lesnar and turn that female. Behold Abaddon! Even better than the hokey but superior gimmick is the fact that she wrestles like an unstoppable badass. The first time I ever seen her, she destroyed Anna Jay. Even Hikaru Shida was nervous to come at her direct, and she's the only wrestler to defeat Abaddon. With such a terrific gimmick, incredible ability, a win-loss record to die for, why am I not getting more Abaddon? I mean, yes, I see she's on Dark quite a bit, but why isn't she being pushed as an unstoppable monster, considering that she actually is an unstoppable monster? Number 6, The Gunn Club. Those of us who came through the Attitude Era will always love Billy Gunn. I mean, how great were the New Age Outlaws, and his role in DX. And I don't care what anyone says, him and Chuck. We will never forget it or forget about it because wrestling is epic. Billy Gunn, turns out, had 2 sons, Austin and Colton. And I see them like I see a lot of others on this list, in the crowd. They have really good matches on Dark in my opinion. In fact, it's been a really long time since Billy Gunn with his sons took a loss. Now, I haven't seen this personally, but I imagine Austin and Colton could become a tag team. They have a successful trios team with their father, so I don't think this would be a stretch. They also have a really cool logo and name, so what is AEW waiting for? Number 5, Jack Evans. I've heard some less than glowing remarks about this guy, but I don't care. He's awesome. I've seen his old Ring of Honor stuff, and it's what I want in my life. He has done incredible work all over, including AAA, Lucha Underground, and PWG. And it's not like AEW doesn't know what they have. He has challenged Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, in all fairness, according to Jack himself, he may be his own worst enemy, also citing that his in-ring cardio isn't as great as it used to be, and he himself can't pitch a compelling angle. I will say in his defense, he's not the booker, and AEW has, we're going to call it a loaded creative team. Still, give him a mic and he can make magic. Maybe if given a chance, he might still shine. Number 4, Scorpio Sky. He's finally starting to get a push, and that's great. He was the winner of the brass ring ladder match, Face of the Revolution thing, that AEW did, earning a shot at the TNT Championship. He would lose to Darby Allin, and then turn heel, and that is absolutely fantastic. My only question is, why did you wait so long? He was briefly AEW Tag Team Champions with Frankie Kazarian, but that really seemed like they were positioned as stepping stones for Adam Page and Kenny Omega. This man can move, has undeniable talent, and it's not like he's still learning his way or anything. His time with SCU and Ring of Honor is still worth checking out, and checking out the work he did on the indies like Wrestle Circus and Empire Wrestling, you find that this man was a crown jewel just waiting to be set. Number 3, Ethan Page. Him and Josh Alexander as The North was without a doubt the best tag team in Impact for a good while. And I don't care, I love it. His alter ego Karate Man was awesome. That final green screen match was Impact's fault, not his. That being said, this man is perhaps the definition of tag team specialist, as chances are, if he's been there, he's been a tag team wrestling champion. And this means literally anywhere. Evolve, Impact, PWG, and if you dig deep into his indie wrestling past, you will find out he's held heavyweight championships galore. A perfect combination of brains and brawn, tag team and solo, funny and serious. Ethan Page has everything you would need to succeed, and now that he's in AEW and paired with Scorpio Sky, there is no ceiling on where he could go and what he could do. Number 2, Ricky Starks. Okay, I know it's a meme at this point, but who doesn't look at Ricky Starks and see a future star on par with The Rock the Dwayne Johnson himself? This dude is straight swag. Whenever I see him, his charisma is unmatchable, his work is unbeatable, and his talent is undeniable. And with all that, I'm baffled that we don't see him on Dynamite more often. Sure, he's on Dark all the time, and if I'm not mistaken, he's pretty much undefeated on Dark in 2021. But when we do get him on Dynamite, it's either a promo that's just too quick, or a match where he loses. And I don't get it. This man has it. His work in the past on the indies is proof he's capable and ready. He was a draw for the awesome Dojo Pro tournament. He was the first NWA World Television Champion since the awesome rebirth of that promotion, as well as being a major talent and star of the indie wrestling scene in Texas. With all this, it's almost a tragedy we ain't seeing more of him. Number 1, Angelico. Okay, after this entrance alone, tell me this dude ain't a star. When you start out in South Africa, been to Germany, been to Switzerland, South America, Mexico, and the United States, you are probably doing something right. This man has held championship gold in just about every country he ever set foot in. Though in America, he's better known for his acclaimed run as Trios champ in Lucha Underground and his tag team championship reign with Jack Evans in AAA. He's probably more prepared for international success than any other wrestler on this list. And is that hard to believe? He was trained by Yoshihiro Asai. You know who Yoshihiro Asai was? The Ultimo Dragon, the only man in history to hold 10 championships simultaneously. Yeah, that's who taught Angelico his game. And it's not like it's unnoticeable. His ring work is so smooth and yet so tight, it's awesome just to watch. And when he has an opponent that can work with him, he can put on barn-burning spectacular matches. And this will cause you to pull your hair out because unlike others on this list, he doesn't even win the majority of his matches on Dark, which is absurd. I almost don't want to see him on Dynamite because when I do, I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose. Not that I don't enjoy his matches. His match against Rey Fenix was awesome, and the title shot against Cody was actually my favorite match on Dynamite that night. Please, AEW, start doing better. And that is the list. Now, did you agree? Did you disagree? Did you think I was right? Or did you just know I was right? Tell me all about that in the comments because I want to read it. Until then, I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you